Money is more than just currency. It represents the decisions we make, the priorities we set, and the words we speak. So often, we treat finances as a problem to be solved rather than a territory in which we have authority. Yet, the truth is that the words you speak over your money, your debts, and your investments carry power. Your finances are not just numbers, they respond to faith, wisdom, and declaration. Too many people are trapped in cycles of worry because they are speaking fear instead of faith. They talk about bills, shortages, and lack, and the echo of those words becomes their reality. But what if you understood that you could speak into your finances as an act of authority, as a declaration of hope and provision? The very things that seem impossible can change when you begin to declare blessing over them. Speak clearly, speak boldly, and speak consistently. Your words are a seed, and every seed you plant has the potential to grow into abundance. Debt, overspending, or financial stagnation does not have to define you. You have been given resources, opportunities, and skills, and your voice is one of the tools to align them with purpose. Speak to your finances as if they already reflect stability, growth, and increase. Declare that every bill is paid, every debt is covered, and that you are walking in wisdom to manage what has been entrusted to you. Every positive declaration reshapes your perspective, your choices, and ultimately your reality. Remember, it's not only about money coming in, it's about the freedom, generosity, and responsibility it produces. Speak life into your finances by committing to stewardship, accountability, and vision. When you honor what you have, trust the process, and boldly declare growth, doors begin to open that you did not anticipate. Your words become instruments of change, and your faith becomes the engine that drives abundance. The way you talk to your finances will determine the trajectory of your life. Speak not from fear, but from authority, knowing that what you declare in faith sets the tone for what manifests in your world. Speak with confidence, act with wisdom, and watch as your financial situation responds. There is power in your words, and there is purpose in your declaration. David Jeremiah. The power of words over finances, what you speak about your money, debts, and resources, carries authority and can shape your financial reality. Replacing fear with faith. Speaking fear or worry over finances leads to lack, whereas declarations of faith and blessing invite provision and abundance. Authority and stewardship. You have the ability and responsibility to manage finances wisely and declare growth, aligning resources with purpose. Positive declarations drive change. Speaking life into your financial situation combined with wise actions transforms opportunities, opens doors, and attracts abundance. Faith, vision, and responsibility. Financial breakthrough comes through consistent, faith-filled declarations, careful stewardship, and living with a vision that honors what you have. Absolutely. Here's an expanded version of Keynote 1, The Power of Words Over Finances, in about 600 words in the style you requested. Words are not just sounds that come out of our mouths. They carry authority, influence, and the ability to shape our circumstances. Many people underestimate the power of what they say about their money, their debts, and their resources. Too often, we speak about lack, shortage, or financial stress, thinking it's simply a way of venting. But the truth is, every word we speak plants a seed, and those seeds can either grow into limitation or abundance. When you consistently speak negatively over your finances, you create a pattern in your mind and spirit that reinforces scarcity. Your words are not passive, they are active, and they set the tone for your financial environment. The concept of speaking into your finances is not about wishful thinking or denial of reality. It's about taking authority over the areas where you have influence. You may not control every external factor, but you can control the words you declare. The moment you begin to speak life over your money, your mindset shifts and your actions begin to align with that declaration. When you say, I am able to manage this, I have the resources I need, and opportunities are opening for me, you are planting a seed of confidence and faith. That seed begins to influence your decisions, your priorities, and even the way others perceive you. Many people live in a state of financial frustration because they inadvertently reinforce their lack through their words. Statements like, I'll never get out of debt or I can't make ends meet become self-fulfilling prophecies. The human mind is incredibly responsive to language, and repeated negative declarations create mental patterns that limit creative solutions. On the other hand, speaking positively over your finances engages your faith, sharpens your focus, and opens your eyes to opportunities you may have overlooked. Your words become the framework for a financial strategy grounded in hope rather than fear. It is important to recognize that speaking over your finances is also an exercise in accountability. When you declare responsibility and blessing, you are acknowledging that your resources are not merely random but are entrusted to you. This recognition encourages careful planning, wise investment, and purposeful spending. Words are the blueprint of action. What you verbalize guides how you manage, grow, and protect what you have. Speaking affirmations over your finances is not a substitute for diligence or discipline. It is the companion that aligns your spirit with your strategy, allowing your efforts to multiply and yield results. Every financial breakthrough begins in the mind and is released through the mouth. When you speak confidently about your financial situation, even in small increments, you are activating potential. You create momentum that draws circumstances, people, and opportunities into alignment with your declarations. Your words are a form of authority, a declaration that your finances are subject to purpose, order, and blessing. By embracing the power of what you say, you step into a position where you are no longer a passive observer of your financial reality, but an active participant in shaping it. Certainly, here's an expanded 600-word version of Keynote 2, Replacing Fear with Faith, in the same style as before. Fear is one of the most destructive forces when it comes to finances. It clouds judgment, limits creativity, and keeps people trapped in cycles of worry and scarcity. Many individuals live paycheck to paycheck, not solely because of circumstance, but because they have allowed fear to dominate their thoughts and words. Every time we speak fear, I can't make it, I will never get ahead, or there's never enough, we reinforce a mindset of lack. Fear creates paralysis, preventing people from taking the steps necessary to change their financial situation. It convinces us that we are powerless, that we are at the mercy of circumstances, and that opportunity is always just out of reach. Faith operates differently. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is a deliberate choice to trust that provision, guidance, and solutions are available. When fear is replaced by faith, the whole perspective changes. Faith compels action where fear causes hesitation. It encourages creativity, strategic thinking, and bold steps toward abundance. Speaking faith over finances is an act of declaration that says, I will not be controlled by circumstances. I will align myself with wisdom, opportunity, and provision. The words you choose to speak shift the lens through which you see your financial reality. They transform obstacles into challenges that can be met with confidence and clarity rather than despair. Many people fail to recognize that fear is often amplified by constant focus on scarcity. Listening to negative news, comparing oneself to others, and dwelling on financial shortfalls all reinforce a fearful mindset. Faith counters that by focusing on what can be done, what resources exist, and what solutions are available. It shifts attention from what is lacking to what is possible. Each time you declare faith over your finances, you are taking authority over the circumstances that might otherwise feel overwhelming. You are choosing not to let fear dictate decisions or paralyze progress. Faith also reshapes decision-making. A fearful mindset leads to reactionary choices, spending impulsively to feel temporary relief, avoiding investment opportunities, or neglecting long-term planning. Faith, on the other hand, encourages thoughtful action, prudent risk-taking, and strategic planning. It allows you to see possibilities that fear would obscure. Every confident word spoken in faith reinforces discipline, stewardship, and a forward-thinking perspective. Fear shrinks vision, but faith expands it. Finally, replacing fear with faith is not a one-time event, but a continual process. It requires conscious effort to identify fearful thoughts and counter them with declarations of trust, hope, and provision. The words you choose to speak become habits of belief, creating a spiritual and mental environment where finances can thrive. The transformation does not happen overnight, but persistence in speaking faith over fear gradually reshapes reality, opening the way for opportunities, growth, and financial breakthrough. Faith speaks over fear, and in doing so, it positions every step, decision, and action for success. Absolutely. Here's an expanded 600-word version of Keynote 3. Authority and stewardship in the same style as your previous requests. Authority over your finances begins with understanding that you have been entrusted with resources and how you manage them matters. Too often, people see money as something outside of their control, something that comes and goes according to chance or luck. But the truth is, you have been given influence over your resources, and with that influence comes responsibility. Authority does not mean taking reckless control or acting impulsively. It means recognizing your role as a steward and exercising intentionality, discipline, and wisdom. Every dollar you receive carries a responsibility not only to meet your needs, but to be used purposefully for growth, investment, and blessing. Stewardship is the practical expression of authority. It is the deliberate choice to manage what you have with care, foresight, and accountability. Those who fail to steward well often struggle financially, not necessarily because they lack resources, but because they fail to exercise authority over them. Overspending, neglecting savings, ignoring debt, or failing to plan are signs of mismanaged authority. On the other hand, when you speak with purpose over your finances and make intentional choices, your words reinforce your actions, and your actions reinforce your words. Authority and stewardship work hand in hand. One without the other cannot produce sustainable financial growth. Exercising authority means declaring the intention to manage wisely. It means making deliberate decisions about budgeting, investing, and giving. Every financial choice should reflect your commitment to responsible stewardship. When you take authority in this way, you move from reactive behavior to proactive management. You are no longer subject to circumstances or the whims of unexpected expenses. Instead, you are creating an environment where growth, stability, and opportunity can flourish. The act of declaring your authority over finances is itself empowering. It reinforces confidence, clarity, and focus, providing a foundation for better choices and long-term stability. Speaking life over your finances as a form of authority also shapes your mindset. When you verbalize commitment to responsibility and stewardship, you internalize the principles of diligence, planning, and foresight. This mindset transforms how you perceive challenges and opportunities alike. Debts are no longer obstacles, but problems to be solved with strategy and persistence. Limited income is no longer a sentence, but a challenge to leverage resources creatively and wisely. Authority over your finances positions you to take control of circumstances rather than being controlled by them. Ultimately, authority and stewardship are inseparable from action. It is not enough to speak over your finances. The words must be paired with deliberate choices. Speaking authority over your resources fosters a mindset of responsibility, but it also calls for practical steps. Budgeting wisely, saving diligently, avoiding unnecessary debt, and investing in opportunities that align with your goals. Every decision you make under the framework of stewardship amplifies the impact of your words. Authority is not about command alone. It is about combining declaration with disciplined, purposeful management so that your financial situation grows, thrives, and becomes a tool for blessing and provision. Certainly. Here's an expanded 600-word version of Keynote 4, Positive Declarations Drive Change, in the same style as the previous keynotes. Words have the power to shape reality. What we say repeatedly becomes a lens through which we view the world, and it sets the tone for our decisions, our actions, and the results we ultimately see. In finances, this principle is particularly powerful. People often focus on problems, limitations, or the obstacles in their path, speaking words that reinforce scarcity. But the truth is that positive declarations have the ability to create momentum, shift perspective, and invite opportunity. What you say consistently over your financial situation shapes your mindset and primes you to recognize and seize opportunities that might otherwise pass unnoticed. Positive declarations are not merely statements of hope or wishful thinking. They are intentional, faith-filled words that align your mind and spirit with the potential of your circumstances. When you speak boldly over your finances, acknowledging that resources are available, debts can be overcome, and opportunities are opening, you are planting seeds of possibility. Each word spoken in faith begins to reshape how you see your money, how you plan for the future, and how you act in the present. The energy behind your words creates an internal shift that influences not only your mindset but your actions and decisions. Many people underestimate the role of declaration in financial transformation. They focus solely on practical strategies, budgeting, investing, saving, but neglect the power of the words they speak over their circumstances. Positive declarations work hand in hand with action. Speaking life into your finances encourages creativity, perseverance, and discipline. It helps you make wise choices, stay consistent with good habits, and maintain focus on long-term goals. The repeated act of verbalizing hope, faith, and authority over your resources strengthens resilience and shapes your perspective in ways that strategy alone cannot achieve. Declaring positively over your finances also creates a ripple effect. When you speak words of authority and affirmation, you influence not only your own mindset but also the attitudes and perceptions of those around you. Family members, colleagues, and even clients begin to respond to the confidence, clarity, and purpose you display. Opportunities that might have seemed distant or impossible start to present themselves because your declaration positions you as someone who is proactive, responsible, and ready to receive. Every word spoken with faith builds momentum, and that momentum translates into real, measurable results. Consistency is key in this process. Positive declarations are most effective when they are repeated intentionally and integrated into daily life. The mind and spirit respond to persistent reinforcement. By speaking regularly over your finances, acknowledging blessings, affirming abundance, and declaring growth, you create a mental and spiritual environment that is receptive to opportunity and resourcefulness. Over time, the combination of positive speech, strategic action, and persistent faith produces tangible change. Your financial situation begins to reflect the declarations you make, demonstrating the principle that words, when spoken with conviction, have the power to transform circumstances and open doors to abundance and provision. Absolutely. Here's an expanded 600-word version of Keynote 5, Faith, Vision, and Responsibility, in the same style as your previous keynotes. Faith, vision, and responsibility are the cornerstones of financial breakthrough. Without faith, there is no confidence to move forward. Without vision, there is no direction, and without responsibility, opportunities are wasted and resources mismanaged. These three principles work together to create a foundation upon which financial stability and growth can be built. Faith allows you to believe in possibilities beyond what you can immediately see. Vision gives you a target to aim for, a destination that guides your decisions and strategies. Responsibility ensures that the resources, opportunities, and blessings you receive are managed wisely and put to their best use. Faith is the starting point. It is the belief that, regardless of current circumstances, provision, guidance, and solutions are available. Fear and doubt may try to dominate the mind, but faith creates a shield that protects your thoughts and words from negativity. It is faith that compels you to speak over your finances, declaring growth, stability, and increase, even when reality seems to suggest otherwise. Faith is not passive, it inspires action. When you believe that your financial situation can improve, you begin to make decisions that align with that belief. You start budgeting more carefully, planning more strategically, and pursuing opportunities that you would have ignored if you were governed by fear and doubt. Vision is equally essential. Faith provides the belief, but vision provides the destination. Without a clear vision for your finances, resources are often misallocated and efforts become scattered. Vision helps you identify long-term goals, whether it's eliminating debt, building savings, investing wisely, or providing for your family. It enables you to create actionable steps and strategies that move you steadily toward that goal. Vision allows you to see the bigger picture, keeping temporary setbacks in perspective and helping you remain committed despite challenges. A clearly defined vision acts like a roadmap, ensuring that every financial decision you make aligns with your ultimate objectives. Responsibility ties faith and vision together. It is the practice of stewardship, the conscious choice to manage resources with care, integrity, and discipline. Responsibility ensures that faith does not become wishful thinking and that vision does not become unrealistic dreaming. It requires careful planning, budgeting, and accountability. By being responsible with what you have, you honor the opportunities that come your way and lay a foundation for continued growth. Responsibility also fosters trust and credibility, allowing you to leverage opportunities that might otherwise be inaccessible. Those who exercise responsibility with their resources often find doors opening that were previously closed because they have demonstrated wisdom and reliability. Together, faith, vision, and responsibility create a powerful cycle of financial empowerment. Faith inspires bold declarations and courageous action. Vision provides clarity, focus, and direction. Responsibility ensures that every step taken is measured, disciplined, and effective. When these three principles work in harmony, financial challenges become manageable, opportunities become visible, and resources multiply in meaningful ways. They equip you not only to survive financially, but to thrive, to grow, and to become a source of blessing for others. The integration of faith, vision, and responsibility transforms not just your financial situation, but your entire approach to life. It shifts you from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, from hesitation to decisive action, and from dependence on chance to confident, purposeful management. Every decision you make is guided by these principles, and over time, the results speak for themselves. Faith fuels your belief, vision directs your path, and responsibility secures your progress. Absolutely. Here's a powerful conclusion and ending for your full motivational speech in the style of David Jeremiah, tying all 5 keynotes together and leaving a lasting impact. As we reflect on the principles we've explored today, one truth becomes clear. Your financial situation is not a matter of luck, chance, or circumstance. It is a reflection of the words you speak, the faith you embrace, the vision you hold, and the responsibility with which you manage what has been entrusted to you. Every declaration you make, every choice you act upon, and every step you take with wisdom has the power to shift your reality. The same mouth that can speak fear can also speak life. The same mind that can dwell on limitation can also envision abundance. The same hands that feel weighed down by debt can also manage, multiply, and release resources with authority. You have authority over your finances. That authority is activated when you choose to replace fear with faith, when you speak boldly and consistently over your circumstances, and when you pair your declarations with wise, responsible action. You do not need to wait for external conditions to change. The change begins within you through the words you choose, the vision you embrace, and the discipline with which you steward what you have. Speak to your finances as if increase, growth, and provision are already yours, because the act of declaration opens your eyes to opportunities, inspires confidence, and positions you to receive what has been prepared for you. Faith, vision, and responsibility are not abstract concepts, they are practical tools for transformation. Faith gives you courage, vision gives you direction, and responsibility ensures that every resource is used purposefully. When these three operate together, they create a momentum that cannot be stopped. Challenges may come, circumstances may fluctuate, but your mindset, declarations, and choices remain anchored in the principles that produce stability and abundance. You are no longer a passive observer of your finances. You are an active participant, speaking life, claiming authority, and walking confidently toward financial breakthrough. Remember that your words carry power. The way you speak about money, debt, and opportunity shapes your mindset and your future. Declare wisdom, declare growth, and declare abundance. Replace fear with faith, and let your vision guide your decisions. Take responsibility for what you have and steward it with purpose. Each of these actions, when aligned with authority, creates a foundation for lasting financial victory. So today, make a decision. Speak to your finances with clarity, boldness, and faith. Envision the abundance that is possible, and take responsibility for the steps that will bring it into reality. You have been given the power, the resources, and the authority to change your financial story. It begins with what comes out of your mouth, what is held in your heart, and what you choose to do with the opportunities before you. Step forward with confidence, for the words you speak, the faith you embrace, and the vision you hold will shape a financial future filled with purpose, growth, and blessing. David Jeremiah.